Coach, just how you draw it up there at the end. You turn to a freshman in a really, really big spot there, and he hasn't played in a whole lot of moments like this, and he comes in and he gets you out of a major jam. I mean, what can you say about Ryan to get you out of that there?
I mean, what great poise. What great poise. And just making one pitch at a time. Not that you're trying to protect a kid, but this is such an intense rivalry, and he had already pitched against him in Pearl, and he's been as good as anybody in that pen, and just felt like we had some depth and some health back there to be able to go to other guys that have maybe been a little bit more experienced. But man, we needed all of them, and he was huge for us tonight.
See.
A couple things along those lines too. Ben Davis opens the night. Why not maybe bring Ryan in there? But also too, the long swing path that they have. I mean, how much did that kind of factor into your game plan as a pitching coach?
Well, I felt like just after watching last night, felt like Carson was a really good matchup. Felt like his pitch planning was very similar to Evan. He got the changeup going, and honestly, kind of Nate Williams, we felt like he would be a good matchup with velocity at the top of the zone. And the 2-run seventh, the 2-run eighth, not taking any credit away from them, because they're of course a really physical offense and have done a nice job slugging all year. But a lot of it was self-induced. The walks, I think Nate had a hit by pitch, maybe an 0-2 count, if not a 2-strike count. And that's what's plagued us lately. When the bullpen has scuffled, it's been just gifts. And for them to score 5 runs on only 6 hits is disappointing for me. That's something we pride ourselves on, and just making them earn it. And felt like we allowed them to get back in the game because of that.
Ben?
Carson obviously liked to limit the free passes, but he looked pretty sharp in general. So, what were some of the keys for him to have the start he did, and sort of jumping off the back of what Evan did last night?
Yeah, I think the changeup really is something that he's had in spurts over the last month or 6 weeks, but not entire outings. I think it was pretty good tonight, probably as good as it's been. And a couple of those, you're trying to pitch around Furness a little bit. Furness has gotten better every year. He's been big against us. I think he had 2 homers last year. He hit the homer in Pearl. He had 5 walks tonight. We have a lot of respect for him and who he is and how he goes about his at-bats, and his eyes are really good. He's making good swing decisions. So we've pitched around him several times. Felt like the matchup behind him was a little bit better, and Carson did a great job attacking Fowley with the slider. So I felt like the walks, yes, you look at the stats, but I felt like his command was a lot better tonight than it's been recently.
Sam?
Just being 6-1 now in the last 2 weeks, is it starting to feel like this team is peaking kind of at the right time right now?
Well, right now it feels like I'm ready to go home. It feels like we're trending. It feels like we're figuring out, learning, and improving on how to win games collectively. And it's at times it's an effort like you have to have out of Ryan McPherson. But tonight the defense was terrific too. Two unbelievable double plays on balls that were hit hard. One started by Ace Reese. One started by Gallon, Sanders. We've been playing better complementary baseball. So I think that's the biggest thing is trending, yes, but we're not as one-dimensional as maybe we were 6 weeks ago or a month ago. And we're able to win games in a couple different ways. Tonight I thought we were really, really, really good offensively. And then we did enough at the end. Every one of these games in this league is hard to get. Every one of them is hard to get, and some of them are ugly. Tonight got a little ugly there at the end, but we found a way.
Take a few more, Steve.
Weather permitting, you should have a game Tuesday, home finale, but then you got Missouri coming up. They've won a series at Texas A&M. How does that maybe help you as a coach, kind of keep guys locked in, knowing
Sure.
that, hey, this isn't going to be a walk in the
Sure,
park?
100%. Well, first off, North Alabama will have our full attention on Tuesday night, and then we'll turn to Missouri on Thursday with our full attention. Like I just said, this league, every team you play, especially on the road, they have a very unique setup, and I feel like at times it can be one of the best home field advantages in the league, just because of the uniqueness. So they'll have our full attention. We have incredible respect for everybody in this league. It's so hard to get them. So we'll turn our attention to them once we get through Tuesday night.
Danny?
You mentioned Gatlin. He's one of the Mississippi guys on your roster. Just how much did you sense those guys are really into this series?
Well, I thought Gatlin. I thought last night. I thought he looked uncomfortable a little bit, and he's been playing through some injuries. He's a really really tough kid, and I thought he looked a little bit uncomfortable last night. And then tonight, just right from the get go, he settled in. He had great at bats. I thought his swings were good. His defense was phenomenal, and you just sense guys gaining more confident. Of course, this series meant a lot to the Mississippi kids, but it meant a lot for our ball club. I mean, really, when you think about growing as a group and trying to peak at the right time and improving and figuring out who we are, and you could just see confidence growing in this group.
Robbie.
You mentioned it a little bit about the defense, but this was a team that I think was last in the SEC in double plays. I'm not sure if they're still there or not, but noticeably better baseball, especially from the infield and the middle infield. In recent weeks. I mean, what's been the difference for that group to kind of come into form and make the plays that they're making? I know you had 2 errors tonight defensively, but it didn't really tell the story of what y'all did.
Yeah, I think it's chemistry. I think we've juggled some pieces in the middle on both sides, and that affects your corner infielders too from a communication standpoint. And I think it's chemistry. I think those guys are playing together and next to each other every night, and I think they're starting to get more comfortable.
Last question, David.
You mentioned that you got to win games. This is a big series, all those things about it. The fact that it was Ole Miss and the fact that so much was at stake in this one, tomorrow you get a day off at long last. Are you going to sit back and think about what you've been through these past 2 weeks?
Well, I'm probably going to just sit back and try to relax a little bit. It's been a lot. It's been a challenge. It's been a challenge for us as a staff. It's been a challenge for us as a group. I give our kids a lot of credit. They're so resilient. They're so tough. Last night was the best example of it, to bounce right back with a 45-minute breather between games and respond like that. And the message, going back to even Coach Lamonis's message for us over the course of March and April is respond. And your mental toughness as a person or as a player only gets called into question when things get hard. And that was my challenge to our guys is everyone's looking at you now to see how you respond, how you bounce back, and what you do. And our group has done that. I'm very proud of them. I mean, just how they pulled together, how we pulled together, and like I said, tonight wasn't super pretty, especially there at the end. But it just was a group that was having a lot of fun with each other.